edition of No Limits with Kristen Andre. I am here today with Deb Hall and Gillian Marto of Events of a Lifetime. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm missing my events. I'm missing the fact that, I don't have weddings to go to and big corporate events and everything's turned virtual. So I turned to the experts because here's what I found. And I've been talking with Gillian and Deb, they're doing some really cool events still. And I think a lot of, myself and a lot of clients, we're missing out on this good stuff. So I'm excited to have you guys with me because it seems like the event completely, but there's still a lot of really cool stuff we can do. So welcome. Glad to have you guys on this morning.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Yes, thanks for having us.
I'm glad to have you guys. So let me ask you, what have you guys think? Because this has completely disrupted your business, correct?
It really has. And I apologize. My camera was freaking out, but we got it back. We had a big book of business for this year and started out with postponements and then cancellations. And so it just really has gutted the whole industry, basically.
Yes, it's been devastating.
Yeah, it
but
just
we're
seems like, I know a lot of the events.
Did we lose Kristen?
I can't hear anybody. I think I'm losing you guys. I must have a bad internet.
Are you there? I think we
here.
got you. We lost you for a minute, but you're back now. Welcome back.
I think it's my internet. I think I'm having some issues with my internet this morning, of course. So no, I can hear you guys. So I apologize for all our technical difficulties this morning. So I changed over to a different router. We'll see if that works a little bit better. So my apologies. And I'm sure you guys were having a great conversation without me. What did I miss?
We were just it wasn't such a great conversation. It was about how really this has taken out our industry, but on a brighter note, it has also forced a lot of us to be super creative, and that's been fun. And so some events and looking to the future have a new face.
So events aren't going, they're not going away. They can't go away because that's just too much of a fun part of business and life in general.
Exactly. People always want to get together and celebrate.
So let me ask you this. I've had a couple family members that have weddings coming up and things like that. That seems to be the biggest change is the wedding industry. And I know you guys I've seen pictures from y'all's weddings and they're just stunning. And y'all do some really unique things that make it just different and stand out. And I'm all about standing out. So how is that changed? Because I just see that as just a complete difference in how you execute a wedding.
Well, for instance, we did they've sort of gone to a name of a micro wedding or a mini wedding. And so people are inviting their most treasured family and friends, and they're very small, but they're still intimate and beautiful. And what they're doing is they're pushing the big celebration back a year and using it as a vow renewal and a big celebration of their first anniversary, the party with everybody, their bridesmaids, everything that they want to do, which is interesting because it's made a sort of a thing of everybody pushing to the next year or two, and then what about the people that are getting engaged in the next year or two? So for local venues, we're finding that you have to book your place quickly, or else you might not get a date. But we're also seeing a trend in elopements and luxury destination weddings, which we specialize in. And Gillian, you can talk more about the destination.
Yes, we're booking 2021 and 2022, and destination weddings are on a rise. Smaller, but 50 guests to 100, really intimate, beautiful destinations. People are ready to travel and have their weddings in beautiful locations, and that way they don't have to invite a lot of people because you're in a destination and not everyone can attend. But those seem to be very much in demand right now. So we find that a lot of our brides and grooms and couples are calling in asking about our destination weddings in Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, especially Cayman Islands right now, very popular because they have no COVID, and once they open up, people want to get there.
Oh wow! Okay.
And we're also saying, people are still want to spend money on their weddings, right? But the focus has gone off of, providing a ballroom of 300 people, a dinner, and watching to what is really special to us as a couple. What's our personality? And so in our destination weddings, you might have horseback riding on the beach and mimosas in the morning, or scuba diving on a catamaran and a rehearsal dinner on the beach. So it's sort of interesting that it's becoming a little bit more personal. They're spending money on things that are important to them as a couple, and personally, I think that trend's really cool.
I love that idea. I mean, I think it's so many times, I think back to when I got married, decades ago, it was, you just kind of did the same thing everyone else did. I think every wedding there was no personality. Right. If there was a personality, it was typically what grandma told you to do. I love it. Do you think that trend will stick?
I do, and the couples get to craft their experience, and usually it's a 5-day event instead of just a one-time thing, and they're really getting to enjoy time with their family and friends, and it's a big celebration, of course. Then they go on to their honeymoon, and of course everybody else returns back to their countries. But that is really going to be a popular thing. Everyone's crafting their own wedding experience. It's not going to look the same.
It's really not that anybody needs to be left out, because the other thing that nasty COVID's brought us is a new push towards technology. I mean, Grandma and Grandpa know how to do Zoom now. They know what a Facebook Live is. And so this wedding that we just did over the weekend, it was very small, but it was on Facebook Live, and we had tons of people watching. And we also created a program called Guested, where people can contact us, and we actually brand a box around their wedding. We put in it things that are indigenous to the location, like personalized Coke bottles. We had one that was getting married in Atlanta, and they ship it off to all those guests they would have invited with the Zoom link or the Facebook Live information, and they get to feel like they're part of it.
And I think that helps because a lot of times people can't go, or their schedules don't allow, or finances don't allow them to go to a destination wedding. So I love that idea. So this is a new trend with weddings. I got to check and see what this is going to be like when my kids start getting married. We'll start thinking of destinations to float some ideas for them.
Well, and that's what another thing sort of destination weddings do, is they really let you decide how you want to spend that money in ways that are meaningful to you as a couple. Because some people pay for their guests to come. Other people, most of the time, they pay their way. We get excellent packages and things like that. So you have more funds that are freed up to, indulge in a spa day with your girls, or have a bourbon tasting and a native, craft making class. I mean, there's just tons of things that we can do, and it's really a lot of fun.
I love that. I love that idea.
Very exciting. Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. I've got to figure out which my friends are getting married next. We got to get some ideas and send them your way. Now, talk to me for a minute about because I know you've done some of these curated boxes and everything with corporate events, and I know a lot of conferences. So I would see the same thing with conferences, being able to create a fun virtual experience for them too. What are you seeing in the business world right now?
Well, we do work with a lot of corporate clients, and like you said, that's changed. But again, technology comes in. It's more important than ever to connect your teams. We have virtual team building exercises that are tons of fun. We can do, sip and sketch. We can have them work with a Disney artist and put that together. We can do game shows. So, like I said, now is so important for people to be connected. So we can do the virtual team thing. We do things in smaller entities like pop-up, TJIFs maybe, but it's just not for a whole the whole building. Maybe you're doing a team at a time, and so then it's really specialized to the team. So you have more intensive opportunity to affect those relationships. The boxes, again, too. Gillian, we're working on one right now for the fall.
We are. And also, there are other avenues to if you're doing anything a little bit larger outdoors, it gives you the space to do maybe a drive-in conference, big screens. We utilize that, and we did one of those last week, and it was very good. Everything was done on the phone, so, little contact there with check-in, and even ordering food, the way we delivered it. It was where you park, the food delivery comes to your car. So we have had to really stretch to figure out how to gather for our corporate events, but it's getting done. It's getting done, but we're looking forward to the days of no mask, if that's possible. And that's another thing we do. We brand everything for our clients. So branded masks, we send out a box before with all of those things for that when they show up to the event. Everyone's branded with T-shirts and everything. So it's very cohesive, and our clients seem to like it, but nothing's typical anymore.
But I love how you guys have been able to just get creative, because like I hear these ideas, I'm like, that's fantastic, but I think a lot of companies haven't done that. They're trying to do it internal. I know I work a lot in finance, and some of my clients, they're trying to do the creative things, but by creative, that means they're all going to wear a hat or have a silly Zoom background, and it's not. I love how you guys have uniqueness to it. It's just you're able to find things that are working for them, that fit their brand as well. Because I think that's critically important now when people aren't together as much, to be able to have some cohesiveness amongst the brand.
We've always been a little different, Kristen, in that respect, because my background actually is marketing and PR in the corporate world, and so, like you mentioned, we really try and think outside of the box, and that means we really study our clients and what it is they're trying to achieve with their event, and we actually put those event dollars to work for them to achieve marketing goals so they have a return on their investment. And frankly, right now, I think that the corporate people are just, they're learning a whole new world. I mean, most people are working remotely. They don't know when or if they're going to come back, or they have a small contingent that comes back. They don't know what that looks like. So that's where we can really help and come alongside these people and say, hey, you focus on that, and we can bring you some concepts that will achieve, better integration, a welcome back, what do the events look like now? I mean, that's what we specialize in, and we would love, to help them.
And I feel like the help is what people need, because I know when I've talked to so many, they just event planners or conference organizers, they just don't have that. Nothing bad against them, they just don't have that creative gene. It's not their background. So they're used to very streamlined event. Like I've spoken at a number of events since since COVID happened, where they've become virtual, but all it is a Zoom meeting. And it's, they'll have several of us that are speaking. I'm speaking at another one next month, but they pop 3 or 4 speakers on screen, and that's about it. There's I think it would be tough to engage the audience, and that to me feels like a critical thing with whether if it's a personal event or business, is you've got to engage the people that are there.
You do, and you just have to figure out how to do it, social distancing, and stay within the safety guidelines. And a new thing that our corporations are really, a few of them are really focusing on is health and wellness. So that is kind of the trend, right? Because our immune system is what's important right now, fighting off all of these things, COVID and everything else. So our latest one is Myers cocktails, which are intravenous vitamins and mimosas. So that's kind of like a thing that we're doing, and our corporate clients are really enjoying that. They are saying, what will that look like? And that can be done safely, whether it be, spread out in a big room, different stations. There's a biometrics area. So health and wellness is key right now, and that's what the corporations need for their employees.
So are they doing so it's cocktail. I heard Ivy and mimosa here. I'm intrigued.
So, well, mimosas, as you know, is mimosas. So when you walk in, you get your mimosa, but then also you get seated in this room and you get a Myers cocktail. It's a vitamin C intravenous vitamin pack. That's it's, a nurse administers it, but we have it set up in different areas, and you go in and you get your vitamin C intravenously into your vein.
I know. I've heard,
very popular.
I have a lot of friends who are in the health and wellness space, and they talk about the vitamin IVs, and that's a very big. I have used to do it. I've probably done them more. I'm more experienced with the mimosas than I am with the vitamins.
Yes. Well, this is something that's come on the scene and been very popular, and I get them myself, and I have to say, you feel great afterwards. So I highly recommend you try one, Kristen.
Well, as long as I get the mimosa with it, I'm in. I can handle the needles then. So. No, but there,
no one likes a needle in the vein, but with mimosa, you can have it.
Manageable. But I could see, I feel like health is probably a trend. It's been I hate to call it a trend because it's something we should all pay attention to. But I feel like, at 5 months where most people are working virtually or working at home, I could see companies and even, philanthropic and social organizations wanting to focus more on that. Because it's an area so many people are neglecting right now.
Breathing and yoga, all of those things for our mental health and stress, for the stress level we're all dealing with right now. I think health and wellness is really, it's not a trend, it's definitely, a staple right now. We all need that.
Yeah. So what type of people do you guys work with? Is it, obviously the weddings, I know that was your thing, but it sounds like you've got such a breadth of knowledge and be able to help a ton of different groups. So who do you guys work with?
Well, we work with, like I said, our wedding business is basically the luxury destination weddings, and we also specialize in multicultural weddings. And then corporately, we deal with large corporations with their meetings, conventions, things like that. And we also deal in the fundraising arena. We've worked with St. Jude and Shoah, and we've been able to marry sort of private companies. Last year, we had a company and attorney's office that was celebrating their 10th anniversary, and we were able to put together an event that would benefit Shoah because they feel very strongly about giving back. So the fundraising aspect is a big part of our business. We did a huge gala for an anti-sex trafficking organization, which is near to Gillian and my heart. And that world is changing too. I think you will see the big galas, they will not look the same. We are doing small, intimate, themed dinner parties where the patrons actually invite their circle of friends. We have an award-winning chef or we have a theme for the night. We do everything. We come in, we do the decor, we do the theme, we bring the chef, and they have a wonderful, intimate evening together with their friends, and they all write checks. And actually, it's interesting because when your friend invites you to your house, it's so much easier just to write a check and have a wonderful time enjoying these people. So that's been very successful, and that has spilled over even into the private sector where people who are having milestone birthdays or anniversaries, we're coming in and doing an over-the-top dinner party that reflects who they are. Again, it's special. We bring all the pieces. We give them the ideas. It's not your run-of-the-mill, pretty tablecloth, nice dinner, yes, but, we can make it over the top and make it an event of a lifetime.
I love it. That's where you got the name, events of a lifetime. But so you mentioned two things there. The charitable, I completely see that because I know the boards I serve on right now, everyone's struggling and we're trying to figure out, the galas are gone. But if we're being honest, I think you're right. I feel like maybe this is the new trend because you go to galas, they all look the same for the most part. You pay too much for a ballroom dinner that is okay. It's just, you hate to say nothing against the restaurants, but I think an intimate event, I could certainly see how that would be a nice, fun, and unique thing. And then the milestone birthday, I've got a milestone birthday coming up, so I'm excited. I think it's too short to plan something now, but most times people have birthday parties or have things and it's just a cake and happy birthday, but there's not enough of the person's personality in it.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to be involved with the Cayman Cookout last year. And I don't know if many people know, but we actually have two, isn't it, Gillian, of the Cayman Cookout elite chefs in Atlanta here. So we've even been putting together, sort of Cayman Cookout previews at which we are looking to bring these chefs into people's home and give people a preview of what that week of incredible culinary taste is like, and just fun things like that.
I love that. I mean, maybe I always try to find the bright side in all of this, being stuck at home and everything, but it seems like we're getting to have a lot more uniqueness. I use the word uniqueifier a lot because I feel like everybody should have something that's unique about them or their business that they really incorporate. And it seems that things are shifting that way. What are you seeing going forward? Is it going to stay? Because I think this sounds awesome. I mean, this sounds way more fun than a boring conference or gala as we're used to them of the past. Are we staying this way?
I think it'll be a mix. I think it'll be mixed. I think some will come back, but things, it's definitely stretched a lot of our minds to be more creative. So I think things will be smaller for a while, and a lot focus on luxury, focus on being very intentional and crafting the experience that is memorable. But I do think hopefully some of the big events will come back, but I think it will be a mixed situation. We will keep some of those smaller events because I think people are enjoying that too.
And irregardless, I think it's forced everybody to think outside the box. So I think, as in life, something bad happens, but, lots of good comes out of just the character of people dealing with it. We're not a people that are going to sit down and wail and cry, right? We're going to say, how can we go forward? How can we help each other? And that is one thing that has been very evident in the event industry. You would think we're all competitors, but we are all sort of brothers and sisters in arms right now, coming alongside one another, sharing information, sharing resources, sharing new ideas of how to do things. Gillian's actually the Atlanta chairman of the International WIPA organization, and she's been driving webinars. And so that's also been a really cool thing to experience in our professional organizations.
And I feel like anytime people I think there's enough business to go around in any industry. So I feel like people that do come together and do share ideas and collaborate, they're going to go way further because, no one's got the market cornered on good ideas. So we want to be able to share, and what you might be able to do here is very different than you would do in another setting.
Of course, we have to lift each other up. It's a hard time. And our industry has been hit hard, and we've seen some of our colleagues lose their jobs, and it's just a tough time. So we just have to rally, but we are all moving forward. We want to take a positive stance and just, make lemonade out of lemons.
Exactly.
Well, we have to be ready too, right? Because, people are made to connect. That's just who we are. And so when we're able to connect again, I think you're going to see an explosion of all different kinds of things happening, which is going to be really exciting.
Really exciting.
And I think we can pull the best of both worlds, maybe and combine them with these new creative things you're doing for the small events.
Exactly. It's just going to be, one day at a time. We're taking it one day at a time, and that's another advantage of sort of having your relationship with an event planner, whether it's personal, corporate, fundraising, is that we are pretty much up on the latest standards and the latest innovations of how to keep people safe and how to do things a little bit differently to comply with keeping everybody safe.
And that's obviously first and foremost, we've got to keep everybody safe. Exactly. But I love the fact that it seems like you guys have been able to create something that allows them to do that, but still have fun and still have their personality take part in it.
Right.
So if somebody's looking to plan an event, whether it's personal, milestone birthday, wedding,
Kristen, we lost you.
first thing, did we lose me again?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Goodness gracious, I swear. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
perfect. So my question was, like, if somebody's planning an event, like if they're looking, whether it's a milestone birthday or a corporate event, other than calling you guys, what are the things they need to be asking themselves and thinking about?
For corporate events specifically, what is why are you doing this? Like, should you do something smaller now? Should you wait? Like, what is the purpose of the event? For weddings, like Deb said, right now there is really, no choice. We have to follow the guidelines depending on the size of the venue. Love will prevail. So our clients are getting married. They're still doing their ceremony. Their celebration may look a little different, but they will have a party next year. So I think the main. Go ahead, Deb.
Oh, I was going to say, that just brought up a point to me. One of the first things that people should do is really decide, like Gillian said, what's the event, what's the purpose of it. If it's a personal event and they're looking to have it somewhere, what you're going to find is one of the most important things to do is talk to those venues, because every venue has a different approach. The guidelines right now have a number, but there's also a caveat that says your number can increase if you have the square footage in your facility to have social distance. Some venues are comfortable with that. Some venues are not. Some have made you cut down numbers of people. Some won't let you go. I mean, it's all very specific. So I think if you want to hold an event somewhere, your first step is to see what those venues are allowing right now. I mean, it's things people don't think of even, like, can you have a buffet? Can you have an open bar? Do the drinks need to be served at the table? Do your guests have to wear masks inside of the ballroom? All of these different pieces, you just really want to get a good picture of what the requirements will be for where you select to have your event.
And I feel like that's something coming up. We're trying to ask all these questions about the buffet and the food and everything, and it's things we've never had to think about.
It's a whole new world. Lots of questions, a lot of different logistics, but call a planner, reach out.
Can you guys still hear me? I'm not sure if I'm cutting out or not. Sounds like you guys are obviously experts in Atlanta. You work with people outside of Atlanta as well, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
We work all over the world, actually. So we do weddings and meetings in Greece and Italy, and so we've worked all
Especially
over.
I'm going to need, for those of you guys listening, an invite to a wedding or an event in Greece or Italy. I'll take either one. I'm itching to travel and get out a little bit. So whatever invite I need, I can show up here. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us. I love what you guys are doing and how creative it is, because it's just something that I've not thought about in the past. I thought I've seen more exciting events and on y'all's page and things that people have done in this pandemic than I've seen in a long time. So I'm hoping it's the start of a great new trend where we can blend the best of both worlds. So how do people get in touch with you guys if they're looking to ask some questions or get some professional help with their events?
Well, you can always go on our website, which is www.eventsofaLifetimeproductions.com, and you can email, and our email and our phone numbers are on there. It's 770-595-9115. We're happy to talk with anybody. We really want to help during this time.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Deb and Gillian, thank you guys so much for being with us this morning. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with next, and look forward to planning some great events in the future. So thank you guys both for being here. And everybody listening, be sure and check them out, because I'm sure there's some great things you guys have coming up. And remember, Italy and Greece, I'm in. So be sure.
I got you.
Exactly.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We'll have to stay tuned on our Facebook page, because we got some great, cool announcements coming out in the next couple of weeks of some awesome new stuff we have coming for you guys. So until next week, keep pushing past those limits.